Hi, Sabir. How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to Men Talk. This is a podcast that I started about a few months ago. So I always thought I'd get interesting topics on there about men, but you're the first young man, I would say. So how you doing today?
Great. I just got off of school. Well, I got off of school at 3 today, so I've just been relaxing mostly.
Cool, cool. So you say school. That's one of our main topics today. I wanted to get you on because you're my son, of course, but we wanted to talk about school mostly and career and things like that to kind of give people that are your age and also parents like some tips on how they can make be successful in school and be successful in getting their kids through school because you're so successful. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, just informal questions. You can just give me your best answer. Okay, cool,
Okay, cool.
great. All right, so first I wanted to just kind of get a rundown on how a little bit about your career in education, where it started, how it started, all the way up to now, if you can. So give us a good idea about what's going on. Which
S- So for my education, I can say that I've had a very unconventional compared to most kids. I was homeschooled for a long time up until middle school actually. From middle school, I went to Henderson middle school, and then after middle school, I got moved to Tucker High School, and that's where I spent most of my high school career.
okay, you say homeschooled. So yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people are doing now. But you guys, you have two older brothers, sister. They were both homeschooled. So give us a little idea of how the homeschooling went for you.
Well, in the early days, I don't quite remember um like before I got into like homeschooled, my mom used to teach me, and then after that, she decided to switch me into an online school called K-12, where they would send in the school supplies and stuff to our house, so I'd have it like in person, and I do classes online.
Okay, so it was basically virtual, but it wasn't like meeting. You wasn't meeting your teachers or
No.
anything like that.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, we used to actually do virtual classes back in the day, but it was very primitive, not like it is today. Like it was the technology was not as advanced as what's today.
okay, but you did do it on the computer, right? A lot of it on the computer,
Yeah.
and you had to do lessons and send it in to your teacher. They were great and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, how did that help you? Let's kind of fast forward to now, but we'll go back to the other parts of your education also. But how do you think that that's helped you with the virtual? Because this year you had your whole year virtual, correct?
Yes.
So do you think that that helped you out get through it?
It helped me. Like I was able to adapt to virtual like very quickly, but I would say that I still prefer in person school
Right, right.
because
But it did help.
it
I
did help.
mean,
It was very
yeah,
easy for me to
cool,
switch to and like online virtual because I had that experience.
good. So when you got through homeschool, your first in-person school was Henderson Middle School, correct?
Yeah.
So tell us how that went. Coming from a total homeschool atmosphere and all of a sudden in a classroom. How did that work out?
It was it was a very radical shift because I didn't start at the beginning of middle school. I started at the end of middle school. So basically skipped 3 years and I started at the late end of middle school. So I had to basically meet all the people who've already been there for 4 years and then just like move in to their friend groups. So I had to start off completely fresh.
Okay, cool. But so what were some of the things that helped you? I mean, did you know any of the people or what?
Um I know some of them because they used to be some of the kids at Henderson Middle School used to be part of my soccer team when I was part of the Chiefs football club. They were there, but we stopped talking a bit after that.
Okay. But so that was a big deal. Actually, we were kind of like scared that you wouldn't be able to adapt. Not really that you couldn't, but it was just that having coming totally out of homeschool into middle school, and you were the youngest, but you ended up really doing well. So how did your grades come out?
It was a long time ago, so I don't really know the exact grades, but I'm pretty sure I had all A's.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So you went through middle school at Henderson. You ended up going to Tucker, which is where you're at now, which was high school, ninth grade. How did that work out for you insofar as intermingling with kids in the ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th?
Um, well, high school was different because the kids that were already there, they mostly already knew each other because they went to Tucker High School. So I once again had to intermingle myself with people who already knew each other. And plus the seniors and the sophomore, they all knew each other. So it was kind of difficult introducing myself, but eventually it worked out.
Cool, cool. So yeah, of course, again, you got great grades. One of the things I wanted to talk about too is STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That's your forte, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what led you in that direction of STEM?
Well, no, not middle school. In high school, I was originally signed up for the STEM program, so I was already placed inside of it. And when I was placed inside of it, I just knew I liked it way more than the general ed. All the people that were in the STEM cohort, they were like more my style of people. Like they understood technology, or not like other people didn't understand technology. They just had like they had more interest in it.
Okay. So how do you think STEM helped you with your other classes? Like you're in obviously in
AP classes.
English and history and all those other classes. But how do you think your love for STEM kind of helped you out with that, or if it did at all?
I think it pushed me to try harder classes because most of the people that were in the STEM were taking the AP classes, advanced classes. So it made me want to go into those type of classes just to be there. So it helped me like get used to the harder classes at the school.
Okay. What would you say your most difficult class is or was?
Um, the most difficult class was probably 10th grade math class.
Okay. Why is that?
Um, it was mostly because, well, I don't want to say the teacher, but
You could say.
it was kind of the teacher was also a coach there. So yeah, Tucker does that a lot. Some of the teachers also coach the sports clubs. So
Yeah, I mean, coaches sometimes, not always, but sometimes coaches tend not to be as academically, prepared because I mean they got coaching to do.
yeah,
Not always, but sometimes you can get a bad teacher. Well, I would say bad, but just
just
not as good.
preoccupied.
Yeah, preoccupied with other things, but you got through it, and so math. But in general, though, you like math, or how you look at math?
Math is I'm alright with math. Once I understand it, then it's pretty easy for me.
Okay. Well, so what's your favorite subject so far
Uh,
in high school?
my favorite subject, you mean core subject or can do electives count?
Just anything. Just give me a couple of your favorite subjects.
Um, I liked history too. I loved history, U.S. history, world history. I really liked those classes, but my favorite class had to be engineering. I really,
Okay,
I really
engineering.
love that class.
So engineering, what type of engineering? we'll kind of piggyback into the next question, but what type of engineering are you interested in?
Um, Engineering. I up until recently, I switched from engineering to computer science, which is the more like theoretical side of computers. But when I was in earlier on, I was interested in mechanical engineering.
So the engineering is basically like designing the computers, right? The hardware, right?
Yeah, that computer engineering is what designed the computers and the hardware. Mechanical engineering deals with all different types of stuff from cars to planes or aerospace, from like motors and stuff.
Okay. And then you switched more to computer science, which is the programming, right?
Yeah.
So why is that? Why'd you switch?
It just looked really cool. I was on a
Okay.
Vex team, well, Vex Robotics, and I was the builder for the team. But then once I saw what the coders were doing, and I thought it was really cool how they were programming and stuff like that. So it got me really interested to want to try like software development and computer science.
Okay. So do you do any coding now?
Yeah, I dabble in coding from time to time.
Okay.
I want to start like really getting into it.
But when you go to college, that's going to be your major pretty much after you decided.
Yeah, I want to go into computer science.
Okay, great, great. Yeah. So we'll go kind of piggyback into that and go into the next topic of your future plans. I know you may not even know this, but how many different colleges have you been accepted to already?
Um,
Give me a list. Just give me a list of
um,
the ones you can remember.
Arizona State, Jackson State, Louisiana State, Tuskegee, Hampton, Howard. Those are just off the top that I remember.
Yeah. Then you got Mercer,
Mercer and Oglethorpe University.
Oglethorpe, and I'm trying to think if there's another one. I think that may be all of them. So far out of those, do you know where you're leaning to, or you just want to wait till you start visiting, or what?
I want to wait until I start visiting, but I'm leaning to Tuskegee and LSU.
Okay, cool. Um, so of course, you had your brother and your sister went to Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Tuskegee, what you like about it.
It just feels like it feels very familiar to me. Like I've been there like my entire life because they've been there.
Yeah.
Every time we go to visit them, I'd go with them. So I'm just very familiar with the campus. I like the campus. My brother told me a lot of great things about it.
Cool. Yeah. So LSU is it's not a HBC. HBCU, of course, is historically black
Historically
college,
black.
and
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas LSU is a different ball game. It's like a huge
It's a PWI.
university. Yeah, both are good, but there's a different um, environment.
Yeah.
So yeah. But we'll try to. Of course, we're gonna try to visit as many. But COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
Give me a little bit about COVID. We don't want to talk about it too much, but how has that affected your education and just really just your life in general? How have you coped with it?
Um, I've been handling COVID in stages. The stage one was at the beginning of, it was last semester, like not last semester, last school year when I was in the 11th grade. Around April is when, April or March is when they announced that we were going to be going into lockdown. And in the beginning, I was really excited. I was really excited about not having to go to school. So,
Yeah,
but
and
then
then what?
it just kept going and going and going, and I just got tired of it the more that I had to stay inside. And then they told us that, and then it eventually led to us realizing that we might not even go back to school senior year, and that really made me disappointed.
Okay, but you're handling it. How are you handling it now
Um,
that you've come to the realization that you're not going back? Correct.
yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't look like we're going back.
How
I'm
are you
hand,
handling it?
um, I'm handling it the best I can. I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep in touch with friends as much as possible, just to
Okay.
like keep in touch with people. been trying to go outside more, but it's a lot colder now. So
Okay, cool.
I'm used to being by myself and being indoors, so it's not as bad as people who like go out all the time. So I understand their side, but I'm just trying to get through it.
Cool, cool. So you've been healthy though, pretty much.
Yeah.
You haven't had no issues.
No, no, no.
Okay, cool. So you're working now, right? Right.
Yeah, I'm working.
Cool. So everybody's safe and healthy over there.
Yeah, I wear gloves, have a face mask. Everybody does their best to stay apart. So it's going
Okay.
good.
Okay, good. All right. So I wanna kind of get some advice for you, like parents who have kids that are kind of struggling with education in general, and especially now virtually. What kind of advice would you give the students and the parents on how to make their schooling more successful?
Um, n- the vice I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm the best student like scholar, but I would say try to have an end goal. Like try to
Hmm.
have something that will get you through high school. Because if you're just going through high school and you just don't have like a reason for doing it, then it's gonna be miserable. Like
Yeah.
mine is because I want to eventually like get a computer science job and like I want to have the like the time and money to pursue my hobbies of like building computers. So doing that will going into a good career and having a stable job will help me get that. So just try to have a reason for going through like an end goal.
That's a good idea. And one of the things that when you were coming up, of course, you love gaming.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids now love gaming, but I always told you, and you can attest to that, is that I wanted you to not only like to play the game, but really kind of learn more about how everything worked. Because if you did that, then it would, like you said, you had an end goal. You not only wanted to play the games the rest of your life, which there's money in that even now. But if you like something that well, then you should at least attempt to try to do it for a living. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You think that's helped you?
Yeah. Like I said, if the whole computer science thing, if I end up not really liking computer or software development, I could always go into game dev, which is game dev basically takes the stuff that you already know from computer science, coding and stuff like that, and it basically just translates it to that. So if I could always go into game dev.
Okay, that's still on the software side, right?
Yeah, it's still software.
Okay, so cool. Um, anything else you would like to just share with us? This was no, it was kind of short, not really short, but it was very informative. So any kind of questions that I didn't ask you that you might want to share with us about your career, your life, just in general.
Um, I'd say like my friends have really helped me through this. I have a very small um group of friends that are very close knit. So we talk to each other all the time. So it's really helped me get through this that I know I have somebody that I can always pick up and call and we could just like do stuff
Cool.
online, of
Do you,
course.
yeah. So y'all don't talk very much like voice talk. You mostly just chat, or are you
Oh no,
video
we do
conference?
voice chat. We have an app called Discord. It's basically like a game communication thing with like
Discord.
Discord. It's a
Hmm.
chat and voice chat feature. And we basically
Okay.
that's basically our main way of communicating. All of us can communicate at once. We get together and play games. It's good. It's really
So
helped.
how is that like Twitch? Because I'm just now like getting hip to Twitch. How's that? Is that
It's a
like Twitch is like old now?
no. It's a bit different. Twitch is basically watching one person, and then there's a chat at the bottom where all the people can talk to each other. But um, Discord is similar to Skype. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it has voice chat, it has in person, not in person call, like face to face call. It's like a chat room basically.
Except you don't use your phone, you use a computer, right?
You can use your phone and a computer. Basically
Okay,
anything that
okay.
can download the app.
So what's the newest thing out there now? Like I know you got all these social media apps and different platforms. So what's new out there that like I may not be hip to? You know, most of my friends are older people. So what's out there that's new that's kind of like catching your attention that you think might be the next big thing, technology wise?
Um, they're really in terms of like new services and stuff. I'm not really aware of many. It's mostly Twitch has been on the rise recently because
Hmm.
people been indoors, so they have way more time to watch like watch Twitch video not videos, live streams, and it's
Uh-huh.
been rising that and YouTube because of the
Okay, cool.
pandemic. People have had more time to be indoors, and that it caused the services to boom more than they already
Is
had.
there a company? Is there a company that you kind of targeting that you think like, hey, I would really like to work with that company when I get out?
Basically all the big tech companies, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and if not, I
Okay.
would like to basically just get a comfortable job in a field that I'm interested in. That's what I feel like that would be the best for me.
All right, great. Yeah. Well, again, I want to thank you, Sabir, for being our guest, and hopefully, what you said will inspire some people. So, anything else you'd like to say before we sound off?
Uh, no, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Sabir. Love you, man.
No, no problem. Love you too.
All right, bye.